Hello, Final Frontier Warriors. We are back with the series of solutions to PCE. Today, I have a very special guest with me who recently passed the PCE in his first attempt, Mr. Chetan. So, let me introduce Mr. Chetan with you all. Mr. Chetan graduated in 2006, and ever since he is practicing as a physiotherapist, he has his master's degree and he has worked in the esteemed hospitals and he has a great experience in the academics. He has multiple accreditations in India and he has multiple papers published ever since he got graduated. We are very glad and we are happy to have Chetan on our side. And congratulations, Chetan, for your results.
Yeah, thank you, Ravli sir. Thanks for your wishes.
Great. Chetan, because we want people to understand, um, because we understand the value of the dollars, we understand the value of attempts, the time, the
Yeah,
sacrifices that we make while we are studying, getting away from the family, getting away from the work, and everything changes when you start preparing for the PCE. So,
yeah.
tell me, what was your first reaction when you looked at your email?
Actually, as usual, the results were out. Means I was in very much tense because we have put up so much of efforts doing all these things all the time, all the years or couple of months like that. So first reaction was I was very fearful to see what is exactly the result,
Right,
and I was also anxious. But by God's grace and uh, with the help of your classes, your teaching, mentorship by Kirti, all these aspects, and your staff. Because of that, I got pass, and first of all, like I feel that I was internally satisfied because whatever efforts you have put throughout the time you have studied, that got justice.
right,
So, so I was very happy because I'm satisfied that the things go in a right way.
right.
And another thing is I couldn't able to accept that for 2 days that I have passed. So it was like a dream come true.
Right, right. No, I completely understand because it's not just about the time that we're putting into, it's a lot of finances that because
Yeah,
the dollar conversion rate and, you have to look around your expenses and you have to,
yeah,
no matter how much money you're making, but when you have to multiply it by 60, it does get a little scary
yeah,
for us to put that money again if we don't pass. So I completely understand what you're saying, especially when after such a long gap and you pass the exam in the first attempt. I understand when you say it was kind of unbelievable to see that you passed,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we also have to accept the fact that you've put a lot of efforts and it's all the hard work that has gotten into the process, and now it's time to collect the fruits.
yeah, sure.
Right. Chetan, what would you advise to someone who is taking the exam for the first time, especially after a long gap? I get this question a lot of times. I've graduated 5 years ago, I graduated 10 years ago. So you graduated almost 16 years ago, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what do you think a person should do who is taking the exam for the first time?
Actually, means when you are working in your place and you take a decision to go to another country, itself is a big decision to take because it's all the way changing the scenario from one country to another country. And already I am established at my place, but still my dream was to go to Canada. So, uh, according to me, it's your decision and positivity towards once you decide that you have to go means by hook or crook you have to go, there is no alternative option. First you have to decide that in your mind, because sometimes people take the decision, they think that whether it will work or not. I think you should take the decision, make it work. So that way and I think who are taking the exam after long time, they should be consistent in the study. Means, for example, you have started the study, and in between something goes happens due to professional or personal issues, and you are diverting from the studies. That will not work actually. You have to be consistent throughout your the time which you have put in the that PC preparation,
Right.
and you should be, as per my personal experience, you should be studying hard throughout the day, taking out hours of studies, because at the last moment you feel that the time is less. So from the beginning only you should plan such a thing like that you can reach to your goal.
I
So,
understand. And I completely agree with that. Consistency has been my best friend ever
yeah,
since
yeah,
I started preparing for the exam for myself. And, you know,
yeah,
and especially after a long gap, if you're studying in in breaks, then
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it gets frustrating.
And another point I want to add is you should avoid many distractions because it will be coming throughout your journey. Like my personal experiences, it comes to many people,
Right,
but like family matters, because I am not a bachelor, I am married,
right,
so a lot of things comes into the picture when you are married and working in at one country, established yourself. So all the way you have to think from all the sides and make it consistent that you should study hard.
right. I understand, and I completely agree with that. But sometimes I call it internal and external factors.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Distractions as an internal factors like your self motivation, your
Hmm.
your internal zeal to do something. But with the external
Right.
factors, it could be any distractions like you're addicted to the Netflix series, you're addicted to
Yeah,
sports, or
yeah,
or you're addicted to the news, or the external factors which are like non-modifiable, which can be
yeah,
family. Like family is
yeah,
something that you can't ignore and you should not, right? So there are so many things that they are going around. You have to work because you gotta chip in to feed your family, and
right.
you gotta take care of other things because you're supposed to be the man of the family and be taking care of everyone. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand, but yes, I think everything, if we conclude, it comes to just do your best to be consistent,
yeah,
right?
sure.
Perfect. Chetan, tell me if you can. It doesn't have to be like perfectly five things, but
Yeah.
what are those like specific things according to you that somebody who's taking PCE should definitely do?
Yeah, first of all, I want to make a point that the credential evaluation is the basic thing which you have to start and finish it off as early as possible.
Right,
And that Canadian health system course is also important, because unless and until you finish that, you will not concentrate on your studies. Once it get done, you will be relaxed that you are eligible to give the exam. So that is the first point which I want to make. And next is, you have to make short goals, like for example, in coming one week what you are going to do daily, and you have to finish it on time, because even though we think it is 3 months, 6 months, whatever may be the time, you don't know how time flies. Like
right,
at the last moment everything goes like we have to read this, that all these things get messed up
right,
sometimes. So from the beginning you should target a day schedule and you have to finish it that. So that way short term and long term goals of the studies we have to make, in how many days you have to cover the syllabus and all these things.
right,
Another thing is like, for me, I would suggest that you read the syllabus once or twice, uh, and start solving the questions, because personally I feel that what there are a hell lot of syllabus in the blueprint.
right,
So to get the what you say, adaptance of the question, the scenario which comes in the exam, you have to be directly solving the question. Suppose as you are taking in the class or lectures, the same way you have to follow the same thing, and I think daily you have to solve set number of questions.
Right.
So it's basically you don't keep on reading. You people are saying like that only as a guide of us, that only in study will not work. Even in personal mentorship, Kirti has been taught that start solving the questions as early as possible. So that is the main factor which is important.
Right.
Uh, as for me, taking maximum test and doing rationally uh, two, three times. And one time also, I don't feel it is enough because sometimes you get confused. So couple of times you have to revise the rationale.
Okay.
So that way, these things are very important, and ultimately attending all the your lectures as every words from you people which taught us in a good way. So we have to follow the timetable and your sayings, what you say, and it is the experience of yours. You have been taught to so many people and making them to fly to Canada. So it is each and every person's individual experience, you know. So by that way, we have to follow your guidelines. So it will be much more easier to get to the success.
Right. I understand and I agree with each and everything because in a lot of countries, especially for the foreign trainings, we may not be used to solve questions like multiple choice questions, especially the place where we come from. There is one question and then you have to read things about that instead of choosing one particular question. So making that mindset is really
Yeah,
important. Thank you,
yeah.
Chetan. Chetan, my one of my favorite questions that I don't ask a lot of people because it may go into multiple directions, but I want you to answer this question because you're a very experienced person, and I think it's better to ask to someone who's very experienced. So it's like when you're preparing for the exam, what is something that you don't want to do? What would you suggest people like don't do this? For example, I'll give you an example. Like if you ask me like what not to do, I would say don't read the books 1 200 page. Like don't fall into the trap of reading the book from page number 0 to 100. What are your
Mhm.
your tips of somebody who's going for the exam and you want to say, you know what, do this, okay, but you definitely should not do that.
There are a couple of things which I want to share that while solving the exams, your score comes to a certain limit or
Right.
certain target set by like by calculations. But I feel anyhow you try maximum you can able to reach to the target, and you discuss with the guide and mentors that how we should do. It's not like if you are getting some marks in test that will be the same in the exam, but right way you are telling the same good thing that you have to reach at a certain level and then you have to give the exam.
Right.
Another thing is don't make hurry to give the exam because it is a both financial matter also, and also it is a loss of chance which
Right.
Kirti told me in my personal mentorship that you think over it and decide like that. So I personally feel you should have the inner urge how we are going to do, and in one shot you try to clear it off because uh, ultimately we should have the target of finishing in a given stipulated time,
Right.
and you do according to the your timetable.
Right. I understand. Because whenever I talk with Kriti, she always wants to emphasize like I've talked to these many people, and because this is our open communication between me and the team, and we discuss like if this person has high chances to pass or if this person should not go for the exam. Um, because again, like we come from a place where dollar rate conversion rate can be really high, and it's kind of difficult to get back into that zone, especially when you have put so much of effort. It may be depressing for somebody who failed the exam after putting so much of the hard work. Great.
Yeah.
Chetan, a final question to you. How did your small group mentoring help you versus what you were doing by yourself?
Yeah, it helped me a lot in many ways. Actually, there are a couple of things which I noticed in the short group mentoring. The first thing is, like as I said earlier, the syllabus is vast, but in small group mentoring, they are covering the syllabus, which is very important. And in the given time, they have taken the classes. So
Right.
it is very important thing to emphasize what is important. Still, we say everything is important in PCE, but in that also, certain things are more important.
Right.
So, so that way we have to finish it off that first, and the little important things later. So that way the personal mentorship helps us lot. And another thing is they keep on watch on your progress, how you are progressing. Like suppose we have given one test and they are asking us, Kirti was asking us how was the score. So it is one to one
Correction.
ratio, and in your guidance, you have to handle too many all the students and which are going to appear for PC. But small mentoring is that way. Individual who wants to enroll into that, they will get good benefit out of it. And she is like a call away, and you also like whenever we want, uh, you are just besides us, like anyways by messages or phone calls. So that is a good thing which leads us to better success in less time.
Right. Uh, I think you covered very important point of communication. As long
Yeah,
as we are communicating, we can find the solutions. If we are not communicating, then we don't know where we stand and we don't know what exactly to do next. And there are so much of emotions that overlaps that increases the anxiety and the pressure of the exam. So I've
yeah,
always encouraged people to, because we have a good team and we have a very big team. So this is my message to everyone, like whoever's listening to this, please interact with us, communicate with any of our team members so that if you have any problem, we can find a solution for that. Right. So with that, Chetan, thank you very much for giving your
I
tip.
have I
Yes,
have
please.
a small message for
Yes.
the people who are like me, who are appearing after long time, that once you decide, don't give up. It can be possible with the help of teachers like you, and those who are very helping in every sense. So it's like we think that this much of years have gone and how we will do it. I want to add one point. The ladies or girls who are giving the exams, they handle all the things, all the home. Compared to that, we are much easier to pass. Looking at their schedule, so it can be possible. You have to just have self confidence and under good guidance like you, PCFF team. And I'm really thankful for PCFF team that we have reached on the other corner of the doing studies and passing. As you always said that you will be on the other corner of the this journey.
Right.
So by God's grace and your help, we are at the side of the this side of the corner of the journey.
Absolutely. It's a great feeling, Chetan. I'm telling you, when
Yeah,
you walk to your workplace for the first time, the kind of satisfaction that you'll feel, I can't really express that in the words. So,
yeah, sure.
wishing you good luck, and hopefully, I'll see you in Canada very soon. But before that, we are meeting in Mumbai. We'll
Yeah,
meet
yeah, sure,
very soon, and let's catch up.
sure.
All right. Thank you, everyone,
Okay.
for listening to this, and thank you, Chetan, for giving your time. I know it's quite late over there, but I appreciate
Yeah.
you up and opening up about the tips and tricks.
Thank you very much.